This is the YouTube edition of my book, A Course in Miracles Workbook Nuggets, which is a study aid for the course's workbook for students. I'll begin by reading my book's commentary for today's lesson over a visual of the book's text. I'll then return with some further thoughts on the lesson, which are only included in this YouTube edition of my book. Today's lesson is part of a 10-lesson group that runs from lessons 291 through lesson 300, each of which relates to the real world as understood in the course. I'll be repeating the same introduction for each of lessons 291 through 300, so you can skip past this introduction in the future if you like. Timestamps taking you directly to today's Workbook Nuggets commentary and to my further comments are provided in the description below. In the section entitled, What is the Real World?, which precedes these 10 lessons, we are told that, quote, the real world is a symbol, like the rest of what perception offers. Yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. Your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witness of terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses, so they see a world where terror is impossible and witnesses to fear cannot be found, end quote. We are further told that, quote, the real world is the symbol that the dream of sin and guilt is over, and God's Son no longer sleeps, end quote. Today's lesson from my book and my further thoughts, which are only contained in this YouTube edition of the book, follow. A link to the book on Amazon.com is provided below. Lesson number 298, October 25. I love you, Father, and I love your Son. Love is like the sun, a constant outwards flow to all. Therefore, loving God's Son is a selfless outflow equally to all, those you like and those you don't. The good news is that loving in this selfless manner is the way for you to have love as well. It is the road to salvation. Giving is receiving. Loving those around us in this way is never easy. For me, it helps to remember that it is not the challenging personality of my neighbor that I need to love. I love the sinless self within that personality, the same sinless self which exists within my own, in his view, challenging personality. The title of today's lesson is, I love you, Father, and I love your Son. Once you have forgiven the world, that is, once you have seen through the chaotic illusion to the perfect oneness beyond, you are free to love completely and without fear. Prior to achieving your corrected sight, you are not loving without limit as God does. It is by loving completely and selflessly that you bring yourself into alignment with God and your true self. But you need to love the Father and the Son, all of the sonship, not just the ones you like. See through people to the Christ within. If your vision stops at the surface, it is here in the illusion you remain.